What's up guys, this is Ultimate Device Vids, and in this video we're going to be doing a battery drain test between the iPhone 14 and the Pixel 7. And as usual, I want to mention a few things before we get started. Automatic brightness and any display temperature color modifications are disabled on both of these devices. And on the Pixel 7, we do have the smooth display option turned on, which means the display refresh rate can adapt from 60 Hz all the way up to 90 Hz depending on what you're doing, while the iPhone 14's max display refresh rate is 60 Hz. Now, leaving the smooth display option for the Pixel 7 on can negatively impact battery life depending on what you do, but that's the way this device is configured straight out of the box, so that's how most people are going to leave it, so that's why we're going to leave it on for this video. And as always, the condition of the battery in a device plays a very big role on how the battery performance of that device will be. And of course, the Pixel 7 here is a brand new device straight out of the box, so you know it has a brand new battery. And for the iPhone 14 here, you could see the battery health capacity is showing very high, and they're both running their latest operating systems respectively as of recording this video. I set the brightness on these two devices as close to the same as I could get using a lux meter for reference, and the media volume is turned all the way down on both. They're both connected to the very same Wi-Fi network, and they're also both connected to the very same cellular network. However, both of these devices will be connected to Wi-Fi throughout this entire test. And alright, with both devices charged all the way up to 100%, we're going to go ahead and turn off the power source that they're connected to, and we'll remove the cables. And we're going to kick things off with 1 hour of YouTube video streaming. So we're going to stream the very same video at 1080p quality, full screen for 1 hour. And checking in after an hour of YouTube video streaming, the iPhone 14 is at 98%, and the Pixel 7 is at 97%. Next up, we're going to do an hour of web browsing, and this is using the default browsers for these two devices respectively, being Safari on the iPhone 14 and Chrome on the Pixel 7. For the first 30 minutes, we're going to be loading new web pages and scrolling through web pages on apple.com, and for the second 30 minutes, we're going to be loading new web pages and scrolling through web pages on theverge.com. And as I often do, I just want to take a moment to mention that there's always a variety of varying factors that contribute to how your battery life is going to be. Of course, things like what you do on your device, as I mentioned earlier, the condition of the battery in your device, the brightness of your screen, also any background processes that are running, your cell signal strength, and just so many more things all play a very big role on how your battery performance will be. And of course, I'm controlling as many of these variables as I can to get the most accurate results. As I mentioned earlier, they're all connected to the very same Wi-Fi network, they're also all connected to the very same cellular network, and I set the brightness as close to the same as I could get. You should definitely keep in mind that what we're doing in this video is a hyper-controlled stress test where we're just using these devices continuously until they die in the very same location. And that being said, there's a lot of factors that we're just not accounting for in this test, such as standby time, varying levels of cell signal strength from moving around throughout your day, and just a whole host of other real-world factors. So you should definitely keep in mind that in the real world, factors will vary all over the place. But even in a hyper-controlled test environment like this, there's always going to be random variables that throw each device off a little bit. So rather than interpreting this video as a hyper-detailed percent point by percent point analysis, you should just interpret it as gauging overall battery performance of these devices in comparison to each other. And after a full hour of web browsing, the iPhone 14 is at 92% and the Pixel 7 is at 89%. So with the iPhone 14 pulling a little bit ahead, we're going to move on to 1 hour of Instagram. For the first 10 minutes, we're going to be looking through stories, and for the remainder of the hour, we'll be scrolling through posts. And checking in after an hour of Instagram, the iPhone 14 is at 86% and the Pixel 7 is at 81%. So with the iPhone 14 continuing to pull a little bit ahead of the Pixel 7, we're going to move on to 1 hour of scrolling through posts on TikTok. And after an hour of scrolling through TikTok posts, the iPhone 14 is at 79% and the Pixel 7 is at 72%. Next up, we're going to head on over to Minecraft for 1 hour of playing the game. And just to let you guys know, the render distance setting in Minecraft is set to the exact same on both devices, being 7 chunks, just to create a level playing field. But anyways, we're just going to go ahead and start the game here and play for an hour. And checking in after an hour of Minecraft, the iPhone 14 is at 64% and the Pixel 7 is at 50%. So here, yet again, the iPhone 14 pulls ahead of the Pixel 7. Next up, we're going to head on over to PUBG for 1 hour of playing the game. And once again, for PUBG, the graphics and frame rate settings are set to the exact same on both devices, once again, to create that level playing field that we want. So we're just going to go ahead and get into a match here and play for an hour. And checking in after a full hour of playing PUBG, the iPhone 14 is at 53% and the Pixel 7 is at 35%. So yet again, the same trend is continuing here with the iPhone 14 being in the lead. But alright, with the first round of the battery test complete and with both devices holding up pretty good if you ask me, we're going to head back to YouTube for our second scheduled hour of YouTube video streaming. So we're going to stream the very same video at 1080p quality, full screen for another hour. And this leaves the iPhone 14 at 47% and the Pixel 7 at 28%. Next up, we're going to do our second scheduled hour of web browsing, once again using Safari on the iPhone and using Chrome on the Pixel. And just like last time, for the first 30 minutes, we're going to be loading new web pages and scrolling through web pages on apple.com. And for the second 30 minutes, we're going to be doing that on theverge.com. And that leaves the iPhone 14 with 40% and the Pixel 7 with 19%. So with about a 20 percentage point difference in these two devices, we're going to head back to Instagram for our second scheduled hour. Once again, for the first 10 minutes, we'll be looking through stories, and for the remainder of the hour, we'll be scrolling through posts. And after our second scheduled hour of Instagram, the iPhone 14 is at 33% and the Pixel 7 is at 11%. So we're going to head back to TikTok for our second scheduled hour of scrolling through posts. And checking in after that, the iPhone 14 is at 26% and the Pixel 7 is barely hanging on at 3%. So next up, we're going to head back to Minecraft for our second scheduled hour of playing the game. And 10 hours and 18 minutes into the test, the Pixel 7 dies. So we'll close out the remainder of this hour of Minecraft on the iPhone 14. And checking in after that, the iPhone 14 is at 12%. So next, we're going to head back to PUBG for our second scheduled hour of playing the game. And checking in after that, the iPhone 14 is just barely hanging on at 1%. So with the second round of the battery test complete, we're going to head back to YouTube for our third scheduled hour of YouTube video streaming. And 12 hours and 10 minutes into the test, the iPhone 14 dies. And there you guys have it for the final results. I think without a doubt, both of these devices have phenomenal battery life, and I came away from this test being very impressed on account of both of these devices. So you really can't go wrong with either of these in terms of battery performance. And once again, I just want to reiterate that there's always going to be random variables that throw tests like this off a little bit. For example, I've never seen the iPhone 14 last this long in one of these tests, where I'm doing basically the exact same thing. Usually it makes it to somewhere around the 11-hour mark, but for whatever reason this time, it got to 12. So you should keep in mind that variations do occur even when doing hyper-controlled tests like this. But guys, that just about wraps it up for this video. If you're using either of these devices, let me know down below in the comment section how the battery performance has been for you. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.